Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would film and show you my eyebrow routine, and as you can see from the title, specifically how to get those Instagram brows. You know, you've seen them all over Instagram. They are perfectly defined, perfectly filled in. They are typically darker on the outer corner or the tail of your brow, and lighter on the inner corner. And then they are carved out to the gods with using a lighter concealer just for some awesome highlighting action. And if you've seen them, then you either hate them or you love them, or you're in between and you don't really give a damn. I'm on the other side of the bracket. I love them, and then I also don't care either way, because at the end of the day, makeup is what you make of it. Makeup is what you like to do, and there are no rules. You just do what you want, you do what you like, you do what makes you feel the best, because to me that's what makeup is about. You wear it because it makes you feel good, because you like it, and that's all there is to it. So these are how my eyebrows are going to look, and I'm going to show you how I like to achieve this finish. This is what I like to do on a daily basis. Sometimes they'll come out lighter and sometimes they'll come out darker, and I guess it just all depends on how my hand decides to work that morning or day or whatever. And if I am doing a heavier eye look or a darker eye look, then I will go ahead and fill them in slightly darker just to balance everything out. Or if I'm doing a more simple look like the one I have today, I will keep them just like this, or maybe even a little bit lighter sometimes. And I just achieve that by using less product and using an even lighter hand. So if you want to see how I get this look, then just keep on watching. I went ahead and I plucked and groomed my eyebrows. If you want a separate tutorial on that, just let me know in the comments down below and I'll be happy to do that. But I just thought it would be super boring to watch me sit here and kind of pluck my eyebrows. The only thing that I do a little bit differently that might be of interest is that I use a blade to kind of get in those areas where plucking would just be really tedious and non-desirable to do. So I use a blade just like this. I know, scary, right? But I got this tip actually when I was in high school. This girl told me that she used a blade to do her eyebrows, and at the time I was like, girl, you crazy. When I first started doing my eyebrows, I used to get them threaded, and that was painful and expensive, and I learned that I can get the same finish by plucking and then filling in my eyebrows the way I want them to look. So the products that I'm going to be using are the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and I am in the color Soft Brown. And I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Mini Eyebrow Brush. This is number 7. It's just an angled brush with a spoolie on the other end. And then I'm also going to finish my eyebrows off with Anastasia Beverly Hills Tinted Brow Gel and the color Blonde. And I am going to make myself get those Instagram brows using a concealer, which I don't have in front of me, but I will have in a minute. Just a creamy, light colored concealer to carve out my brows. I don't do that every day. I usually just do that on the days when I want it to be perfect, or I want that extra oomph, or I'm going out or something. On an everyday basis, I just fill it in with the pomade and then go over it with the tinted brow gel and call it a day. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to zoom you in and then we'll just get into it. So I've gone ahead and I've zoomed you in a little bit, and I'm just going to show you how I like to fill in my brows. So the first thing I do is take just a tissue like this and wipe off the brush, because let's face it, you know your brushes aren't clean every day, and I'm just going to remove some of the excess product that might have been left from the day before, just to make sure I'm not using too much product on my brow. So then I'm going to go ahead in with the Dip Brow Pomade, and it looks something like this. And I'm just going to dip it in ever so slightly, just coating both sides. And that might look like a lot of product, I don't know if you can tell, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is take the cover and just wipe it off in the cover, and just make sure that I only have a tiny bit on my brow. And if I need to go back in and get more product in the end, I will go back and work from the cover until that runs out. So the first thing I like to do is take the spoolie side of my brush and just brush out my hairs and get them into the shape that I want them to be in. I usually start in the middle and I begin to create a line of definition and fill it in like that. So just using a really light hand too. Just going to create a line working slowly towards the inner part of my brow and kind of using those like feathery kind of strokes to fill it in. And I want the end of my brow to be the darkest. And then I'm going to go in and start with the top and do the same thing. When I get to the tail, I do press instead of using a feathering motion. I just find that gives me a cleaner line, a sharper line, and it just gives me the finish that I want. So I'm just going to continue after I created those lines on the top and the bottom and just fill in the brow. And I'm using a really light hand and soft motions, and I haven't gone back and gotten more product yet. I'm just working with the same amount of product that I started off with. And as you notice, I haven't touched this part of my brow yet. That's just because that's the last thing I do. I want to make sure that the end of my eyebrow is nice and dark and filled in, and then I will go in and work on the inside. So I'm just going to take a little bit more product now. Not much. And it's mainly focused on the tip of the brush. And I'm going to continue to darken the tail of my brow. Like I said, when I get over here, I do like to press harder and not so much in a feathering motion to get the definition and the darkness that I want. I'm going to start and work on the inside of my brow. And I'm just right now using feathering strokes just to work my way in, and I'm holding my brush kind of vertical with the point downwards and flicking upwards because my hairs naturally grow in an upwards direction in the front, so that's what I'm gonna do to mimic the natural hairs. And then I'm gonna go with my spoolie and just brush the whole brow through to avoid any clumping of product and make it just a little bit more natural. Let's face it, this is not natural in any sense of the term, but just a little bit more natural. And then I will turn my brush so that it's facing vertically, and this time the point is at the top, and give myself the square shape that I like, and then turn it again so that it's pointing at me, and fill in that top and bottom, creating two light lines. You see me raising my brow, that's just because I can really see where I want my line to be when I do that. When I raise it, I can see exactly where the bottom line of my brow should be, and just really carve that out and define it and all that good stuff. So then I'm going to go in and get a little bit more product and just continue to fill the end of my brow and get it nice and dark. And then I'm flicking upwards in the front of my brow to mimic the natural hair growth. And then again, I'm going to take my spoolie and brush it all out. That's about as dark as I like them to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and carve out my brows. So I'm just going to take this Anastasia Creamy Concealer, and this is in the color Porcelain. I got these at Target. I think this brand is exclusive to Target, and it's just a creamy concealer. And I'm going to take this Anastasia square top brush, and it's just square and thin, and that's what I'm going to use to carve out my brows. So I just go ahead and I dip it into the concealer, make sure both sides of the brush is coated, and then I just go in and starting at the tail of my brow, I'll draw a line like so and pull that concealer downwards, and then begin to work my way into the inside of my brow. And then blend it in using my finger. Now this is a much lighter concealer than my skin tone, but that's because I like to highlight this area, and this just lifts the brow and makes it stand out a little bit more. And then as I get to the inside, I'm just going to place it where I want it and then drag it down. And go ahead and blend it in with my finger. And then sometimes I like to go in and carve out the top. Ideally, you would want to use a color concealer that is as close as possible to your natural skin color, or you want to go in with your foundation. I use this one today, the L'Oreal True Match Lumi, but I'm just going to go in with the same concealer and really blend it out. I can get away with using a lighter color on the top because I am pretty fair, so I'm just going to use the same concealer, and I'm not going to add any more to my brush. I'm just going to use whatever's left over because I don't want that area up there looking too harsh. So I'm just going to start and just drag it down and clean up that area. Now, I don't know if you can tell the difference from before, but it is looking much cleaner, much sharper, and just a little bit more defined than without the concealer. You get me, right? Now you want to make sure you blend it out really good, and that just makes it look extra pretty, extra perfect. And then the last step is using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Tinted Brow Gel, and this is in the color Blonde, and this just lightens up the hair a little bit and sets everything in place, and trust me, your brows moving on. And trust me, your brows are not gonna go anywhere with this stuff, like, at all. Like, it sets them. No worries. I'm just gonna go and brush that in, and I do place a lot just because this is a color that is much lighter than my natural hair color, so I just wanted to make sure that it looks even. Front of my brow, I like to brush upward and then comb them into place. And that is how I like to fill in my brows. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the other one, and I will be right back. So I went ahead and I went ahead and I filled in my other brow. This one is just a little bit harder to work with because it is just a little bit more rounder than this brow. This is my favorite brow, my preferred brow, my baby. But remember, eyebrows are sisters, they're not twins. You probably have heard that phrase a million times, but it is the truth. If there's one tip I can give you, it's don't spend too much time stressing over your eyebrows and trying to get them to look exactly alike, because it's not going to happen. No matter what you do, you're always going to find something like, oh, this one is a little bit more arched, oh, this one is a little bit longer. Like, don't even worry about it. People probably don't even notice, and you shouldn't spend too much time thinking about that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. This is just how I like to do it. I know eyebrows are a very personal thing, and people tend to get very critical on it, but again, makeup is what you want it to be. Makeup is a form of self-expression, and you do what you like at the end of the day. I hope you guys got some helpful tips, or you just liked to see how I like to fill in my eyebrows, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! At the end of the day, makeup is what you make of it. What you make of it. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to watch. And no, I'm not going to say that because that's fucking rude. And I'm just going to show you how I fill in my eyebrow. And if you don't like the Instagram brow, then click out of this video and don't watch, because that's what I'm going to be doing. And this is what I like to do. Like I said, you do what you like. If you don't like to do them, why do I keep saying that? Talk too much. I talk too much. I say so much shit. And that's it. My earring fell.